It was supposed to be the perfect family vacation. Sunshine, sea, and relaxation in the coastal village of Praia da Luz, Portugal. But on the night of May 3rd, 2007, everything changed. A little girl vanished without a trace, igniting a media firestorm, spawning countless theories, and turning her name into one of the most recognized in the world. This is the story of Madeleine McCann, a mystery that has baffled investigators and the public for nearly 2 decades. Madeleine Beth McCann was born on May 12, 2003, in Leicester, England, to doctors Kate and Jerry McCann. By 2007, she was nearly 4 years old. A bright, bubbly child with blonde hair, distinctive eyes. Notably, her right eye had a rare coloboma, a sort of slit, and a personality that made her the heart of the McCann household. Her parents described her as chatty, affectionate, and curious. Her disappearance, they said, ripped their family apart. In late April 2007, the McCann family traveled with 7 other friends, along with all their children, to the Ocean Club Resort in Praia da Luz, a peaceful village in the Algarve region of southern Portugal. The adults followed a vacation routine: tennis during the day, beach visits, poolside lounging, and then group dinners in the evening. Their apartments were in a small, whitewashed complex that felt safe and familiar. Madeleine was staying in apartment 5A with her parents and 2-year-old twin siblings. The evening started like any other. At around 8:30 p.m., Kate and Jerry left the children sleeping in the apartment to dine at the tapas bar restaurant, roughly 50 meters away. They were not alone. Other parents in the group had left their kids too, relying on a rotation of informal checks every 15 to 30 minutes. At 9:05 p.m., Jerry did the first check. Madeleine and the twins were sound asleep. At 9:30, another friend, Matthew Oldfield, offered to check on the McCann kids. He later admitted he didn't enter the room fully and just listened from the doorway. At 10 p.m., Kate McCann got up to do her round. What she found would mark the start of one of the world's most enduring mysteries. The window in the children's bedroom was open. The shutter was raised. Madeleine's bed was empty. Kate ran back to the restaurant screaming, "They've taken her! Someone's taken Madeleine!" Chaos broke out. Resort staff, guests, and friends spread out through the resort searching, calling her name, checking the beach, the roads, the alleys. But crucial time had already been lost. The Portuguese police, the GNR, were not called until around 10:15 p.m. Boarders weren't alerted until the next morning. The crime scene wasn't sealed off. People came and went from the apartment, potentially contaminating evidence. As the hours passed, it became increasingly clear this wasn't just a case of a child wandering off. Early on, the working theory was that Madeleine had been abducted. Her parents strongly believed this and began a media campaign almost immediately. Within days, Madeleine's face was on television screens and newspapers worldwide. The unique defect in her eye became a focal point. "Look for the eye," the posters read. In the weeks and months following Madeleine McCann's disappearance, reports of sightings poured in from around the world. Sightings were reported in Morocco, Spain, Malta, even Australia. Hope surged with every phone call, every email, every blurred photo. But time and time again, the leads turned cold. 2 early sightings were reported in Belgium. The first occurred in May 2007 in Liège. The second, more dramatic, happened on July 28th on a cafe terrace in Tongeren. A children's therapist, Kathleen Sampermans, claimed she saw Madeleine in the company of a Dutch man and an English woman, but the child turned out to be the daughter of a Belgian man. Just another false alarm. In Malta, security was tightened in Valletta on June 21, 2007, after 5 separate sightings were reported on the island. By June 27th, the number had risen to 29. Despite the intensity of the search, none of the sightings in Malta led anywhere. In a stunning twist, by the late summer of 2007, the Portuguese police began to suspect the parents themselves. The theory: Madeleine had died in the apartment, perhaps in an accident, and her parents covered it up. This speculation was fueled by reports that sniffer dogs alerted to blood and the scent of a corpse in the apartment and on items like Kate's clothing in the car they rented weeks after Madeleine disappeared. On September 7, 2007, both Kate and Jerry McCann were declared arguidos, formal suspects under Portuguese law, but the evidence never held up. In July 2008, Portuguese authorities shelved the case and lifted their suspect status. Still, for years, the shadow of suspicion clung to them in the public eye. Madeleine's parents were later paid hundreds of thousands of dollars in libel damages because of stories that baselessly suggested the couple was responsible for Madeleine's death. Sightings continued to flood in. In December 2007, CCTV footage from a department store in Dunedin, New Zealand, appeared to show a blonde girl resembling Madeleine being led by a man. The video made headlines across the globe, but once again, the lead fizzled out. On February 15, 2008, Dutch student Melissa Fearing reported seeing a girl matching Madeleine's description at a motorway restaurant in southern France. The child, she claimed, was with a tall, swarthy man. French police reviewed CCTV footage and concluded the girl was not Madeleine. In Britain, the first reported sighting came in Dorset in February 2008. Retired civil servant Alan Cameron claimed a Portuguese couple brought a young girl to his door. But this, too, was a dead end. In March 2008, police in Sydney, Australia, received a report of a middle-aged man carrying a blonde girl through the central business district. Yet again, it was a false alarm. There were 6 reported sightings in Brazil, including one in late March 2008 from a witness on a flight to São Paulo. All of them were investigated, and all were discounted. One of the most chilling reports came from Amsterdam. According to police files released in August 2008, a shop assistant named Anna Stam told authorities that a young girl entered her store in early May 2007 and said the adult she was with was a stranger who took me from my mummy while she was on holiday. She said her name was Maddie. The McCanns were never informed of this sighting until it appeared in the released case files. Their spokesman, Clarence Mitchell, called the omission a disgrace. More sightings followed in the years ahead. In October 2009, a Swedish newspaper published a photo of a girl who bore a striking resemblance to Madeleine. The photographer claimed the girl only spoke English and was with a man speaking Swedish. Nothing came of it. In Leh, India, in July 2011, tourists reported seeing a young girl with a French or Belgian couple. Local police denied the claim and said no DNA test had been performed. On New Year's Eve in 2012, a woman in Queenstown, New Zealand, reported seeing a girl with the same rare coloboma in her right eye as Madeleine. After investigation, police were absolutely satisfied it was not her. In total, Portuguese police files included a 14-volume annex of reported sightings from across the world. Even Leicestershire police in the UK were overwhelmed. In July 2008, they disclosed 81 pieces of information related to tip-offs and sightings to the McCanns. But for all the hope these leads stirred, not one brought authorities any closer to finding Madeleine. In 2012, after the London police reviewed the investigation at the order of David Cameron, then Britain's Prime Minister, British officers said Madeleine might still be alive. Scotland Yard launched a new investigation, Operation Grange. With a fresh look at over 40,000 documents, British investigators began re-interviewing witnesses and conducting their own digs. By 2013, they revealed 2 potential suspects seen around the resort, including a man carrying a child near the apartment that night. But the leads dried up again. In June 2020, German prosecutors made headlines by announcing a new prime suspect, Christian Bruckner, aged 45. Bruckner was a convicted sex offender with a long criminal history, including child abuse and rape. He lived intermittently in the Algarve from 1995 to 2007, and phone records placed him near the McCann apartment on the night Madeleine disappeared. Authorities claim they have concrete evidence Madeleine is dead, but they haven't shared what that is. Bruckner, currently imprisoned in Germany for the rape of a 72-year-old woman, denies any involvement in Madeleine's disappearance. The case against him remains largely circumstantial, at least publicly. In May 2023, authorities returned to Portugal to search a remote reservoir 30 miles from Praia da Luz, an area Bruckner was known to visit. Divers and search teams spent days scouring the area, recovering unspecified materials for forensic testing. But no new developments have been announced since. The Madeleine McCann case is one of the most covered missing person cases in modern history. Tabloids speculated wildly, conspiracy theories flourished online, and the McCanns faced intense scrutiny, particularly Kate, whose composed demeanor led some to question her sincerity. Netflix even produced a documentary series in 2019, though the McCanns declined to participate, saying it might hinder the ongoing investigation. Her parents remain committed to finding her. On every birthday, every anniversary of her disappearance, they release a message or hold a vigil, never giving up hope. The investigation is still technically open, with authorities in the UK, Portugal, and Germany cooperating. But after nearly 18 years, no one has been charged. No body has been found. No conclusive evidence has emerged. As of 2025, Madeleine would be almost 22 years old. The McCann case changed how the world talks about missing children. It raised questions about media ethics, parental responsibility, and international police cooperation. It also revealed the power and danger of public opinion. Accusations, misinformation, and internet sleuthing complicated the search for truth. Through it all, one heartbreaking fact remains. A child vanished, and no one has been able to say definitively what happened to her. Yet her story remains etched in the world's collective memory. A haunting reminder of how quickly a child can vanish, and how hard it is to find the truth once the trail goes cold. The mystery of what happened that night in Praia da Luz endures. Don't forget to subscribe to Crime Chronicles for more deep dives into the world's most chilling mysteries. Until next time, stay curious and stay safe.